Ladies and gentlemen, Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions welcomes you to yet another season of India Insight. Envisioned by Mrs. Prema Rajagopal, the founder of this institution, way back in 2004, the objective ever since has been to enhance the knowledge of India and appreciate the diverse culture of this nation. As our young children take part from various corners of the world, over the last couple of years in the digital avatar, this contest has reached over 20,000 students across 10 countries. We at the Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions truly appreciate and acknowledge the support and patronage given to us by all the participating schools, their teachers and managements. Before we begin, it is our pleasure and privilege to invite a leader in school education, a person who's a strong advocate of co-scholastic learning. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dean Academics at Vidyaniketan, Miss Sumitra Raghavan.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. On behalf of Vidyaniketan Public School, let me extend a warm welcome to all you students for the India Insight World Debating Competition. Children, you are a part of a generation where communication holds the key to progress and prosperity. With the new education policy, which advocates that school children should be creative, collaborative, and expressive, it is our endeavor to create a platform for high school students to express themselves convincingly and eloquently on matters related to our country, India. In its 75th year of independence, it is truly our wish that facts and figures, ideas and ideologies of India are brought to the fore in such debating competitions. As you traverse the various rounds of the debating competition, where many of your co-contestants get eliminated, while some of you inch towards the grand finale, you will be engaged in a battle of words that enables you to put forth your views and thoughts for and against the topic. It is a matter of pride for us at Vidyaniketan that such a large number of students from schools spread across India and overseas have been motivated to participate in this debate, which only goes to prove that our VPS banner is something that has set a standard, a benchmark, and created a reputation for itself in events of this magnitude. As you enter the crucial semi-final stage of the debate competition, I wish you all the best. Let the war of words begin, and may the best speaker win.
Before we progress any further, let us introduce you to your host, the young and charismatic Rashmi Furtado. An alumnus of the prestigious NITK Surathkal, she went on to become the only professional woman quiz host across Asia that she presently is. The co-founder of TeacherTribe.world, she has many a feather in her large hat. From co-hosting Tata Crucible to being the first woman to host a quiz show in Kuwait, she's also hosted programs in Singapore and Dubai. Business World rated her as 40 under 40 for content creators. She was also conferred the iconic woman for creating a better world for all from the Women Economic Forum. Time for us to get started. Please welcome your host, Miss Rashmi Furtado.
Hello and a warm welcome to each and every one of you to India Insight Debate Young India Speaks, brought to you by Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions. Today, we are going to have our first semi-final of this debate contest. What started as a quiz in 2004 has now extended to a debate and a drawing competition. As we celebrate 75 years of independence of India, it's a significant year for it to be extended to 2 more contests. Late Mrs. Prema Rajagopal, the founding member of Vidyaniketan, always had the vision to inspire young children about India in a positive way. And she wanted to do it through engagement and involvement in competitions and contests such as these. We are really happy and glad that her vision and dream has become a reality and has been growing every year. The digital medium has also enabled us to take this contest beyond geographies. Starting with Bangalore, it moved on to be a national contest, and today we have children from international locations taking part in India Insight. India Insight debate, Young India Speaks, is been introduced for the first time, and we hope this becomes an annual event. We have had an overwhelming participation in this debate contest, and these semi-finalists here today have submitted various entries, and after going through a rigorous judging process, they have made it to this semi-final. Let's quickly get to know our semi-finalists who are here with us today. Our first semi-finalist is Rachel Sebastian from Bethany High School, Bangalore. Rachel is from class 10. Moving on to the second semi-finalist, Akshita Tejwani from Maharani Gayatri Devi Girls School, Jaipur. Akshita is from grade 9. Moving on to our third semi-finalist, Yashwardhan Verma from the Doon School, Dehradun. Our fourth finalist is Ishwari Mangesh from School of Scholars, Yavatmal. Unfortunately, Ishwari couldn't join us here today, but we have our 3 semi-finalists and they will battle it out to secure that 1 slot in the big finale that's coming up. Yes, you heard me right. Only the winner from this semi-final will make it through to the big final. We have 4 semi-finals in all, and from each of these semi-finals, 1 winner will make it through and take part in that grand finale that's coming up in a couple of days. The first round of this India Insight Young India Speaks debate coming up on your screen. Here we go. Alright, semi-finalists, Me in 30 Seconds is a round where all of you will introduce yourselves in 30 seconds. Each of you will get 30 seconds of time and you will introduce yourselves as how you see yourself as a citizen of this country. However you want to interpret it, it's your choice. We do not want to give you any restrictions or any rules on how you interpret this particular context that we have given. Let's start with Me in 30 seconds. The first semi-finalist starting this particular round here today is Rachel Sebastian from Bethany High School, Bangalore. She's from grade 10. Rachel, your 30 seconds of time starting now.
I, Rachel Merrill Sebastian, a citizen of this nation, a resident of Karnataka, native of Kerala, and a proud student of Bethany High, Sarjapur, Bangalore, look forward to participating in this India Insight Debate 2022. I'm a big fan of Sudhamurthy books, and I'm also living in anxious anticipation and dread of my upcoming 10th grade boards. As a young Indian, I yearn for a corruption-free and secular India.
All right. Thank you so much, Rachel. I think she portrayed or she expressed her wish and desire for our country and who she is very quickly in 30 seconds. That's very nice, Rachel. Let's move on to our second semi-finalist here today. Akshita, your 30 seconds of time starting now.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm Akshita Tejwani of class 9th from Maharani Gayatri Devi Girls School, Jaipur, Rajasthan. It's well said that I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can always adjust my sails to reach my destination. I wish to see India as the world leader on the pinnacle of progress, For that, I'll try my best to make India one of the world leaders. I wish to serve my country with all my efforts and make it. I wish to serve my country with all my efforts and see it as a world leader. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshita. She has a dream. She wants to see India at the pinnacle of success. Very nice dream to have there. Moving on to a third semi-finalist, Yashwardhan from the Doon School, Dehradun. Go ahead, Yash. Your 30 seconds of time starting now.
Ma'am, I'm Yashwardhan Mayur Varma, a proud citizen of India and a student currently studying in the ninth standard at the Doon School, Dehradun. I'm a state level tennis player currently living in Hyderabad. I also like playing the drums. I'm very interested in the field of medicine and I tend to pursue that in the future.
All right, thank you, Yash. Ladies and gentlemen, you would have already observed that we have three students from three different parts of our country. One from Jaipur, one from Bangalore, and the other one from Dehradun. Well, he's taking part from Hyderabad, but still, that's three different locations that we have. India Insight has always had participants and contestants taking part from length and breadth of our country. I guess aptly for the name India Insight, we have contestants taking part from all over our country. Let's move on to the second round of our quiz, Point of View. Here we go. All right, as the name suggests, your point of view is what we want to know in this particular round. You will have certain topics that will be shown on your screen and I will tell you what context you need to interpret those topics on. There are choices, of course. I think we have about 8 topics for you. I would request you to not repeat a topic that was chosen by someone else. I've given you 8 topics, so you have a lot of choices. Please try and stick to a unique topic and do not repeat one that's already been used. You have a minute's time to interpret the topic and speak about it. Okay? A minute's time, keep that in mind. I will give you about 15 to 30 seconds of time to gather your thoughts. But of course, if you do not require that time and you can start straight away, you can do so. Nobody will stop you. All right? The topics, or rather the context of this particular round coming up on your screen. If you were the Prime Minister of India, which one of these would you adopt as your topmost priority and why? So this is the context in which you have to interpret the topics that are coming up on your screen. Here we go. Affordable and clean energy, gender equality, quality education, decent work and economic growth, clean water and sanitation, reduced inequalities, good health and well-being, climate action. These are the 8 topics that have been given to you. The choice is yours. I give you all about 30 seconds of time. Ladies and gentlemen, Akshita Tejwani from Maharani Gayatri Devi Girls School, Jaipur will start this round. Akshita, what topic would you want to choose?
Ma'am, I'd like to choose the topic quality education.
Quality education. Remember the context that I explained to you a little earlier. Do not leave out the context. You have a minute's time to speak on this. Go ahead, Akshita.
If I were a PM of India, I would first like to ponder upon the thoughts of quality education, because it's very necessary for every child to be that we need to sow the seeds of good quality education in every child to build a dynamic, effective future of that child. As I mentioned in my dream, that wish to see my country as a world leader. So the quality education being given to every child will result in he or her becoming becoming a good citizen of the country, becoming an asset for India, and quality education also builds a dynamic and effective future for that child. For ensuring good quality education, I'd first like to give free education to all to class till class 12, so that every child can pursue his or her career and get good quality education. After that, in the colleges and other institutions, I will offer scholarships to deserving students. And also, I'd not like to bring up reservation or caste system in India, because that creates divisions among students. We'll apply the principles of equality, equity, justice, and only for the deserving ones, so that India India is led by good leaders in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshita. Building on a dream that she mentioned in the first round was Akshita. All right, let's move on to our next semi-finalist, Rachel Sebastian from Bethany High School, Bangalore. Rachel, what topic would you want to choose?
If I was the Prime Minister of India, my top priority would be decent work and economic growth. We all know India is an agrarian community, and sometimes this faces a lot of drawbacks, which may not always result in the full economic growth. Providing decent work will not only give economic growth, but we can also make advanced technologies in the agrarian community itself so we can grow from there as well. Economic growth can also result in us taking much more bigger steps for climate action. It will result in the good health and well-being of our citizens. We'll be able to afford clean water and sanitation even in the most rural parts of India. And also this can even lead to a growth in all aspects, politically, economically, and culturally, socially as well. We can also establish gender equalities with this by providing decent work to females and giving equal pay as well.
All right, thank you, Rachel. She picked on decent work and economic growth and connected it to almost everything that's on the screen. Our next finalist for this round is Yashwardhan Verma from the Doon School. Yash, which topic would you want to choose?
Affordable and clean energy.
All right, affordable and clean energy. Remember the context. Go ahead, Yash, your 1 minute's time.
I consider affordable and clean energy very important for India, for every country. This is because of global warming and climate change. We all know that, and I think it's very important right now. United Nations wants to achieve net zero and affordable and clean energy by 2030, and I think that is a goal for every country, and especially for India. um, not only do we save natural resources, but we also prevent people from being harmed by harmful emissions, and therefore we can keep sanitation and clean water accessible to all. And I think that's a very important thing right now.
All right, thank you, Yash. Good points of view from you there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget you're watching the India Insight debate, Young India Speaks 2022, brought to you by Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions. We have completed 2 rounds of this debate already, and some extraordinary points of view coming from our semi-finalists here today. Let's now move into the 3rd round of this debate. On your screen, War of Words. Here we go. All right, the topic for this round appearing on your screen: we the people of India propose to unite all states as one entity. Ladies and gentlemen, the topic is given there on your screen. We the people of India propose to unite all states as one entity. Each of our semi-finalists will receive a minute's time to speak about this particular topic, and then the floor is open for all of them to debate. They have about 6 minutes of time to debate on this topic. When they debate the topic, I will not be moderating the debate at all. It's completely up to them on how they want to guide the entire debate. For now, let's start with Rachel. Rachel, your minute's time on this topic. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, my fellow debaters and respected judges. Today's topic is in regards to a proposal to unite all states as one entity. My argument is that such a union already exists. It is the Republic of India, and there is really no need to erase state boundaries. India has always thrived on the policy of unity in diversity. Let's face it, we are a diverse people. We have diverse languages, ethnicities, religions, food habits, and many others. Our state boundaries help to provide a sense of belonging based on these diversities. In the past 75 years, since India became a republic, it has shown that the federal system of government helps us maintain our identity, while state boundaries help smooth governance on the basis of regional commonalities. In conclusion, I believe India can exist as a single entity while maintaining our state identities. For me, I might be from Kerala or live in Karnataka, but I am always an Indian first. Thank you.
Akshita, you're up next. Your 1 minute of time starting now. Go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. It's well said by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Manpower without unity is not a strength. Unless it is harmonized and united properly, then it becomes a spiritual power. In the year 1947, India gained independence. That was the result of that unity and sense of nationalism among the citizens of India. This can be a great example that when we are united, no one can stop us from achieving success. Today, we the people of India propose to unite all states as one unity. India is famous for its diverse cultures, states, as people of different religions, different states, different cultures are have that sense and feeling of unity and nationalism towards India. When we see that there's an imaginary thread that holds us all together because it's mentioned in the very old manuscripts and texts and also the words of sages and poets. Since then, India has not lost its ideologies of equality among all. Therefore, India is as it's well mentioned in the preamble that India is a sovereign, secular, and equal country, and with different cultures, with people leading different lives. However, that feeling of equality is still awake in everyone's heart towards India. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Akshita. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Rachel and Akshita have both given their points of views. Now, let's see what they have to debate on this topic. Girls, your 6 minutes of time on the topic starting now.
So, we know today's topic is about uniting all the states as one entity. I'm actually against this because it we have different social indices in like healthcare, education, standard of living, and this is a good thing because it provides for an opportunity for states to compete with each other and be better than each other.
Yes, I agree with you. But if we also see to the other side of the topic, that people have, yes, you're correct, that people lead different lives. There are different cultures, numerous states of India. But when we talk about that particular India, that feeling of patriotism is always there in everyone's mind. Since then, that independence was actually the result of that unity among the people, that they were able to defend the country from the British rule. So I guess this should be the we should propose to unite the states as one entity, because India has its true power lying among the feeling of unity, integrity, and that feeling of one family among the citizens of India.
Right, but I mean, this unity already exists, which is India. That is India, where even though we are diverse, we are different in many ways, we are still coexisting together in the form of India. And this even states even have a sort of individualism. We can recognize ourselves from a particular state. We can celebrate our differences, but we already coexist together as India. The unity is India. It is proof.
Actually, I wish to say that there are still various systems. As in the very first round I mentioned about the reservation system, that system actually creates divisions among people, so that sense of equality actually gets diminished when we talk about all these systems. So if we need to see India as actually existing at the very pinnacle of progress, as I mentioned in the first round, so we need to first be actually equal in the terms, such as removing the reservation system, promoting equality among all. And it's not that like we have the, yes, you are right, we have unity among all now, and it still exists, but still there are some aspects where that inequality is not considered. So if we work upon those, if we modify our country, our system a bit, then it may result in well and actual equality among all.
But to eradicate the system of reservation which you were talking about, uniting India, I mean, erasing the state boundaries is not a solution for that. Because the reservation is not based on where you're from, it's based on caste. And because India became one entity, it won't necessarily remove the caste system, it's just going to remove the states.
That thing, we need to work upon that particular system. We know that if we make India a one entity, everything is not going to happen automatically. Citizens need to take steps, they need to put in their efforts, because if we see that systems nowadays are not just for the people who actually deserve them, it's for that people are taking advantages of these systems, because it's creating the division among those who are actually deserving. It was correctly said, I read it somewhere, that we are keeping the reserved while the companies of different countries, international companies, are taking the reserved. So that should not happen, right? We how are we People are not able to express their talents equally. It's because of these systems, of some of the political corruption that's still there in India. The political leaders such as Mahatma Gandhi, B.R. Ambedkar, who actually introduced to uplift those of some unprivileged sections, actually meant for those who need upliftment, who need actual equality, because they used to be treated unequally and had they used to be treated unequally. So this still continues even today. So to actually remove this in its true means, we need to work upon the systems, we need to work upon how the political structure is, not the political structure, but actually just seeing in every aspect, that how can we give our best and make India united, as we have the topic.
Right, you state really valid points. What you said was correct of corrupt people taking advantage of the underprivileged and how it's affecting them and how the truly deserving ones are not getting positions. But it doesn't have to do with states. I mean, the states are not, formation of states or the existence of states in India doesn't have to do anything with it. So, what you stated were valid points, they were correct points, but I mean, the states aren't doing anything.
But the state governments and all the political structures of different states, they have some role to play in this particular system, the particular political agendas that we have. So I think states, the Sardar Vallabhbhai integrated all the states to ensure equality, and that particular, to make India, they had the vision for future India and the citizens to run their country well. But if we see that now we do not have that particular sense of actual equality and patriotism among people, because sometimes people just see for their betterment, for people seem to be self-centered at most of the points, especially in these yes, yeah, I wish to say.
Okay. So, as you said, the state government has an agenda in being corrupt. So, if you're saying that we unite all the states and form one entity, the single government won't be corrupt. I mean, there will obviously still be corruption, right? Because if the state governments are corrupt and you plan to remove those, which, by the way, can it helps in governing, it helps in smooth governance of the country. So you're saying if we remove these state governments, corruption will go away? That I don't think that makes sense.
Actually, as I mentioned earlier, everything will not happen on its own. We as citizens of India need to take some steps. Making it as one entity and putting a one government won't will be taking people and ministers and all the officers from all the from all the corners of India, and because to ensure that unity and the ideas and ideologies of all the people of India, that who represent their citizens, their people. So I think unity in diversity of India is actually what unites it, and yes, it's necessary for
All
the
right, time's
existence.
up, girls. Time's up, girls. All right, ladies and gentlemen, one thing is for sure, even when there's not a huge group to debate, Us girls are capable of having a very meaningful debate and discussion, even if it's just the two of us. I think these two young girls have just proved that. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching India Inside Debate Young India Speaks, brought to you by Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions. We have completed the first 3 rounds of this debate, and now we move into the last round, which is the jury round. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the final round of the semi-final here today, jury time. Jury time is not possible if we don't have eminent judges with us, and we have 2 such judges here today. Let me introduce them to you, and then we'll get into the round. Our first judge, Mr. Shravan Shetty, is a career coach, motivational speaker, and an education consultant. He holds a master's degree in business administration from Ohio University, and he's an expert in educational consulting and career guidance. He has a decade of experience in working with individuals and groups and enabling them to better their skills for productivity and growth. He was featured as the LinkedIn Person of the Year list for 2 consecutive years. So our first judge for the day, Shravan. Shravan, thank you so much for joining us here today for this semi-final, and I'm just waiting to see what kind of interactions you would have with our contestants here today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Rashmi, for having me on this debate today. And I'm especially happy to be here because these are the platforms where we can see our future citizens of India in action. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shravan. Our second judge for the day is Mr. Tariq Laskar. He's a researcher, teacher, quizmaster, trainer, and a writer with over a decade and a half of diverse experience, primarily focused in these areas of business, including research, academia, and economics. Apart from heading the research and analytics practice at the ITW Consulting, he teaches part-time instructing graduate and undergraduate programs at some foremost institutions in Bangalore in the areas of strategy, economics, and operations management. Tariq, thank you so much for joining us here today. We are happy to have you here.
Thanks, Rashmi, and happy to be here.
All right. So usually the rules of this particular jury round is that one judge asks a question to one particular contestant. But since we had 2 of them dropping out because of unforeseen circumstances, I think we can have both of you question both of our finalists or semi-finalists here today. So we get to know these semi-finalists better. So both of you, any one of you can start. Shravan, you want to go first?
So my question to Akshita is that, Akshita, I've listened to your point of view on this topic. I would like to know, apart from reservation, if you have any other, reason which is there that you feel that the state's identity must be erased. Other than reservation, if there is any 1 or 2 points that you had that come to your mind, you could share it with us.
Yes, sir. So, well, the main reasons were these only that I had in my mind. But apart from these, it's well said that if we maintain the equality and the unity among people, India, and to make India as one family, we'll have to unite everyone. And basic was the reservation system only, because that thing was the first thing that came in my mind when came to uniting India and establishing unity in the true terms. So yes, sir, I had this thought in my mind, and other than that, I think wherever it is needed, we need to establish unity so that people don't feel divided being in India.
All right. Thank you, Akshita. Shravan, you want to continue with Rachel, and then we can move on to Tariq.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
So, Rachel, my question to you is: I've listened to, your strong counterpoints to what your peer had to say in terms of the debate topic. I would like to put forth to you and ask you, one, of course, stated reason is that the federal nature of the states is responsible for maintaining the regional richness, I could say, of different states. That was one of the points that you made, and
Yes.
that governance was the second point that you made. So I would like to know from you, uh, governance, of course, because smaller the states or smaller the regions and there is an administration in place, governance is easier. When you are looking at this concept of union of states, is there an additional point of view or additional points which are different from what you've already stated, which you would like the jury to know, right? Because the debate was centered around a couple of points. So I just want to give you the opportunity to see if you could share any additional point of view which was there, which you would like to make in support of your argument.
Yes, sir. Um, so, as we know, different states have different development rates in some fields, like healthcare or education or the standard of living of different states. So, this will sort of give a sense of competition among the states, and for one to become better than the other, which will only result in the benefit of the citizens living in the state, because better the state, more higher standard of living for the citizens in the state as well.
So I just want to just clarify whether I've understood this right. So what you're saying is that the developmental agenda of each region could be different. For example, quality of education or employability might be higher in one region, whereas it might need more of attention in another region. So what you're stating is that the union of states as a concept would help drive agenda on common parameters where there could be a healthy co-optation as such, and in certain other areas wherever more focus needs to be done in terms of quality education or whatever the parameters are, attention could be given. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, thank you for your point of view.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rashmi. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Shravan. Tariq, whom would you like to speak to
All right.
first?
Well, I think we'll go with Akshita first, the same order. So
Go ahead.
go to Akshita and then to Rachel. So, Akshita, my question to you is that you imagine a situation where, let's say, if all the states are erased and you merge India into this one uniform entity, there would be no reservations. That's one issue that you guys talked about and debated quite a lot, right? So, how are you so confident, or what is the guarantee that if the state lines are erased, there would not be any other parameters based on which reservations might emerge, or why do you feel so confident that there would not be any reservations if we just had one entity?
Yes, sir. Sir, like the boundaries are created by us, by the citizens only. But if I imagine myself in a situation where all the boundaries are erased, where the reservation system is not there, I think the equality and unity will be there. However, there might be some other reasons too, which can cause inequality and division among people. So that time, the leaders who actually took a pledge to serve their country and the citizens need to be in their truest virtues that we have always been up to, that staying honest, staying equal, and providing help to your nation in any which way will be important, and every citizen will have to understand that they have a certain role to play for their nation. So removing boundaries will actually create one India, one family. And if I'll be a future leader, I'll make sure that every person is having those thoughts and ideas of equality, true equality, unity among everyone, and that not creating divisions among people. So that time each and everyone will have to try their best to make India stay to keep India united. And yes, sir.
My next question is for Rachel, obviously. Uh, so, Rachel, we have seen, for example, during the COVID pandemic as well, that having a federal system, having separate states, states making decisions on some things, the central government making decisions on some things, creates a lot of confusion, creates a lot of coordination issues, etc. So, why would you want such kind of things and such challenges which are going to come to us, including climate change and things like that, where everybody would need cooperative, coordinated, collective action? Look at a situation where we could bring everybody together under one entity. Why would you think that would be a bad idea?
Sir, because first of all, when you bring it to one entity, it becomes one big area to manage, which will be extremely difficult. And also, when we have state governments, the state government will know how things work in the area, and it can even make it easier for them to govern. So, in case of COVID, different state governments will be taking action based on how things generally work in that particular state. While if we unite it as a whole, it's going to become extremely tedious to govern this big piece of land.
All right. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for those answers, and thank you, Akshita, as well. Thanks, Rashmi. I'm done with the questions.
Thank you, Tariq. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the jury round for you. You have been watching the first semi-final of India Inside Debate Young India Speaks 2022, brought to you by Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions. We have completed the entire semi-final, and like I mentioned at the very beginning, only the winner from the semi-final will qualify to the grand finale. Now it's time for us to adjourn with our jury members and figure out who that person is going to be. And the winner of the India Inside Debate Young India Speaks Semi-Final 1 is Rachel Sebastian from Bethany High School, Bangalore. Congratulations to you, Rachel. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't go anywhere. The second semi-final is coming up. So stay tuned and watch the second semi-final. I will see you there. You take care.